What's going on, everybody? We are live. We're back. Foolish Finance Friday. I posted in Slack saying that we're back. Hopefully, people join. I'm not sure who's out there right now. Let me look. Got 7 people watching right now. I give people time to get in. It's late. Well, it's not really late. It's just a good time to be in on a Friday night. That's all. Everybody should be in Colorado right now. Shout out to CU, Boulder. Everybody should be out there having a good time. The game is on and popping. We got the game. We got Boulder game. We got Denver game this week. Should be a funky good time. What's going on, Chester from Cabo? Thank you for joining us. Natasha, what up? I ain't see you Thursday. No, Wednesday, Natasha. I ain't see you Wednesday, Natasha. I won't hold it against you, Natasha. I just won't. I won't hold it against you, Natasha. I just won't. Cool. What's the weather in Cabo right now, Chester? What's the weather like out there in Cabo? I've never been to Cabo. I guess because, excuse me, we have Gulf beaches. No need to go to Cabo, I guess. I don't know. Studying for your set. Oh, I missed you then. I was late. Okay, I apologize. I apologize. You got an apology out of me. Look, I'm about to die. I'm dead. I'm alive. Yep. So, on vacation, I got you. Well, I hope you have a good vacation. I hope it's sunny, bright, maybe a little misty, little rain here and there to, you know, make it romantic if that's what you're going for now. So, Foolish Finance Friday. It's going to be interesting. One, I don't have my HDMI cord converter here, so I'm working on just my laptop. This is not something I do. I usually have 2 screens, so it's hard for me. So how do I want to start? There's so much because we didn't have one last week, and I feel like I got a whole bunch of new information this week, and I'm like, where do I want to begin? It's just all over the place for me. It's just so much, but nevertheless, I think I want to start here, and then we'll back into some stuff. But let me get myself situated here. Um, Let me pull it up. All right. So I know a lot of you all have heard the situation coming out of Houston. Um, Not the lady with the brick in the face, not her. What's going on? What's going on, Filthy Frank Black? What's going on? I'm going to respond to you in a bash script. Hashtag, well, we're going to do pound sign, exclamation point, user being bash, enter, enter, enter. And I'm going to do echo, hello, Filthy Frank. And then I'm going to put it down, hit enter, and then I'm going to do echo, how are you? Right? Oh, and right quit, exclamation point, close that out. Let me chmod plus X, and then let's execute. For those that don't get that, just rewind this and just type into a bash script what I just said, and you should get 2 lines printed out, echoed to the screen. I know. All right, so the what's up, Heather? So let's talk about this. All right, and let me respond back to you. Uh Echo LOL. All right, so let me respond back to you on this here, the whole thing that happened in Houston. Not the lady with the brick. I had to do some investigation on that because I hear a whole bunch of stuff about that. But let's talk about the guy getting wrongfully his stuff wrongfully tossed out his apartment. We could say evicted or whatnot, but he's still allowed to stay there. All right. So in this situation, he had a girlfriend. The girlfriend and him stayed together, and I'm assuming the little girl that's involved in this situation is his daughter, right? The ex-girlfriend moves out of the apartment, in which the apartment is in her name, and leaves him in the apartment. They come by, wrongfully evict the wrong tenant out of the apartment and throw all his stuff away, including his storage stuff, everything out of the apartment. They then go back and get it out of the trash and bring it back into the apartment, but things had been broken up. He lost a lot of stuff, shoes, the whole nine, this, that, and other. And so the question, and this came out 2 weeks ago, and I was going to do it 2 weeks ago, but we didn't have Foolish Finance Friday that week. So the question was, who is to blame? And I sat here and thought to myself, who is to blame? Right? I say all three. I've said this on social media. I say all three. Number one, where does the Foolish Finance Friday come into that? The woman who left him in the apartment with her name on the lease, she was a fool. I'm sorry. Y'all can shoot daggers at me how you want to. Number one, the reason why I say she was a fool, if he decided at any point in time that he wanted to vacate that apartment, he could. His name wasn't on the lease. If he didn't want to pay the rent, or there was a problem, and this is what I don't understand. You leave him in the apartment with your name on the lease, and y'all broke up, so he can go date another woman and put the woman in the apartment with him. Like, y'all don't make no sense sometimes. That don't make sense to me. What's going on, Operation Tech Takeover? How you doing? That don't make sense to me. All right, that's the first thing. The second thing about that situation was, if he could not afford to pay the rent in that apartment, in terms of, like, when I say afford to pay, because he had been paying rent, meaning his financial situation, his money, his overall 3 times the income, 40 times the income, whatever the case may be. If he didn't have that money, it didn't help his rental history, because the apartment is in her name. It didn't do nothing but make her look good. So it's not helping him at all. Thirdly, people are like, well, how was he able? They was like, they took his money. Well, I go online, I pay my rent. Guess what happens? You go into a portal, you put your information in there, it go through, and it's done. It's not like old school days when you want to, I gotta go by the rent office, drop off a check. He ain't dropping off no check. He going probably to a payment portal. And it's the same thing with this payment portal. She probably had a username and login, and probably gave it to him, and he just go in there and pay it. Or he was sending her money and she went back in there and paid it. They don't care where that money comes from. Exactly. As long as it comes. And I hear you what you're saying on squatters' rights, right? The issue that I have on in this situation is, if they go to evict him, they're actually going to have to use her name to evict him. The eviction is gonna come on her, because she's the one that's on the lease. So now she's gonna get a ding on her credit. He ain't gonna get nothing on his credit. He gonna walk away scot free. This is why it's so foolish. And on top of all of that, why would you want to stay on the lease with your ex-girlfriend was on the lease? That don't make sense. Get your own shit. Get your own shit. Yeah. They're not they're Listen, you all keep claiming squatters' rights. You can all keep claiming whatever. By actually, they don't have to do anything with him. Now, here's where the tables can turn. As a property owner, I would want to see. I would want this story to go viral. I would want that story to be taken care of. They could have did a little bit more. They could have said, "Look, sir, you got to get out of here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut you a check for the stuff that you lost, but you got to move." Right? I would have handled it that way so the story wouldn't go viral. But they really ain't no obligation because again, you got to go. What's going to be the rule of thumb that they're going to go by? The lease agreement between her and the property. They're going to go by that lease agreement. Y'all can claim squatters' rights all you want to. That's my take on that. That was foolish. Um, yeah, someone's paying rent, but if we don't know if he got mail there, if he was smart, he wouldn't be getting mail there because he don't want to get caught. So I wouldn't be getting mail there. Um, his credit was busted, and he was going to have to live in the hood on his credit. Yeah, and he's still gonna have to live in the hood on his credit. Why? Because he did nothing to build up his credit. Paying that rent, whatever it was, $1,000, $1,500, $1,700, whatever it was. He didn't build up his credit. Now there is a company out there, it's black owned, that while you're in an apartment, your rental history can be counted as a as on time payment as a good look for you. And they have that out there, but you have to be on the lease. He's not on the lease. So it does him no good, right? So this is the other part of this that actually boggles my mind is now when he goes to look for another apartment, what is that going to look like? Where is he going to live at? Where's his daughter going to go to school at? It's a reason why he stayed in that apartment. So ladies, stop moving men into y'all apartments and they not on the lease. I don't know why y'all moving apartments together anyway and don't nobody be on the lease. Both parties ain't on the lease. I don't know why y'all do that. I understand why you do that, but I don't understand why you continue to do that. I understand this is I guess my thing because I've been in the comments on a couple of videos on a couple of little different videos. Well, this is what I've determined about about us. We love struggle love. We love it. We want to be like, well, if she's only making 20 and he's making 25 when we could put it together and when we could be 45 together and we can make it. But when nationality, what really ends up happening is it's not that the 20 and the 25 get together, it's the struggle of the bills that come together. And I'm really starting to think that a lot of y'all probably need to move back home with your parents. Shit. A lot of y'all need to probably move back home with your mama and your daddy. I know you don't want to do it, but shit, yeah, some of y'all need to go home. Go home. Move back home with your mama and your daddy or your grandmama or whatever. Stay there. Stop moving in. Well, the reason why I got with him it's cause he said he was gonna help me with my groceries, and then you get with him, and then it ain't what it's supposed to be, or you get with her and it ain't what it's supposed to be. Y'all getting together to pay bills, which you ain't doing nothing but causing trauma to each other. You're doing nothing but sitting. Man, I'm not with it. Go home. Go back to your parents' house. Stop going out here and struggling. Stop. Why y'all living in tents? Y'all living in cargo vans. Y'all living in like if you got the ability to go home, I don't care if you're 40, 50, now I don't care if you're 60 years old. Go home. Go home. Go home. That's my message. Go home. Stop. You ain't got to struggle. You ain't got to be out here. You know what's funny about me saying this? When I'm sitting down talking to like all these other races and couples and stuff like that, right? I literally, you know what they say? Like I was literally, I was on a plane. I was talking to this white couple, and this white couple was like, my son, he's out there. My son is out there struggling, so I sent him some money. He's 25. And then the dad says, "Yep, it's time for him to come home. He's out there struggling." And I was like, "He gonna always have a place to come." She was like, "Yep." She was like, "I don't." And the daddy was like, "I don't care if he's, I don't care if he's 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old." He was like, "My son can always come home." And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, right? I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Not from a perspective of like go home to go help your parents and whatnot, and you can, but I'm thinking about it from a perspective of like sometimes y'all need a reset. Some of y'all need a reset. Some of y'all out here, you're moving from pillar to post, you're moving in with folks, and it's just not a good move. It's just not a good look. Sometimes you just need a reset. And that reset could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, but just go reset. Stop moving in with people or taking chances or, like, and the other thing too is this the other thing too. A lot of y'all need to have a plan. Mm, just some of the struggle builds character, some of it don't. Listen, some people struggle and take their life. Really be real. Some people struggle and they take their life. Some people are not here. Some people can't take the struggle. Some people can't take the struggle. Sometimes some people can't take the struggle. They end up taking their lives and the lives of their friends or the lives of their significant other and their children. Some people are not really built for that. But go home with a plan, right? Start over with a plan. Just a reset. And and I think in reality, I think a lot of our reset and a lot of our community shames that reset, right? Oh, that person back at home with their mama and their daddy again. Oh, here they go. They back over there with their mama that you ain't gonna never get it right. And sometimes some people need to go home. And you know what? Let's be honest. Some of y'all need a hug. Some of y'all just need a hug. Some of y'all need a hug. You need to whatever happened to you as a child, whatever that was, you go pray about it, go wash, go be like Stony from Set It Off, go wash it off your skin. I'm in a bind, Nate. Some of y'all need a hug. Some of y'all need to get them toxins, and it ain't just toxins from your food, it's toxins from your thoughts out your body. Some of y'all need to go take a reset, right? I you know what I want you this is what I'm thinking for 2024. I know people ain't gonna even like what I'm about to say. I think every black man and every black woman need to go to their own corner. I think y'all need to. I think black culture need to take a break. I do. I think black men and black women need to take a break. Don't date 2024. Don't even listen. If you ain't making over 100,000 and on your way to 200,000, you don't need to date. That's what I know. People gonna get mad at me. I know people gonna get mad at me. I just think everybody need to reset, go in your corner, go heal whatever trauma you got from your mama and your daddy, your uncle, your brother, your sister, uh, the dog that bit you in 1994 and you still ain't never got over that, whatever the case may be. I'm tired. I need for y'all to go take a break. I need I need for y'all to take a break. Put it on pause. Like just go sit. You know what? Growing up, this used to happen. Let me tell you this. Growing up, my grandmama used to say, when God is outside, when God is out there doing when it's raining, God is doing his work. And when it's lightning, thunder and lightning, God is doing his work. And she used to tell me all the time, she's like, when it's thunder and lightning, God is doing the work, you go sit in the corner and be still until it's done. Y'all need to go sit in the corner and be still until it's done. Just let the dust settle. Let the dust settle. Those that ain't gonna rise to the occasion, they not gonna rise. I just think y'all need a break. I really do. That I just think y'all need a break. Just take a break. Just you know what? Just go sit down. Sit down. Go sit at your mama's house or wherever. Go sit down for a minute. Just sit down. Just go look at Barney Fife. Go look at go look at Mayberry. Go look at Little House on the Prairie. Go look at PBS. Just sit down. Just sit down. That's my personal take. I'm tired because the bickering back and forth ain't going nowhere. We ain't moving no needles. We ain't moving no chains. We got scammers out of the world. I keep hearing about everybody getting taken for money with these different financial gurus. I'm hearing people talking about relationships. I'm like, and really what it comes back down to is money. It all comes back down to money. Go watch Mama's Family. Go watch Mama's Family. Go watch the Carol Burnett show. Bob Newhart, the Golden Girls. There's no go watch 227. There's no place like home. Doo-doo. With your family around, you are never alone. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go back. Go sit down. Go look at the birds flying in and acting crazy and chirping and go watch a cat fight. Go- I'm telling you. I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know where y'all been at. You know what? I'm gonna go next year. Natasha, I'm gonna go to Invest Fest next year. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak at Invest Fest. I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna speak. Somebody asked me about Afrotech. No, let me rephrase that. Somebody had put in a comment section about Afrotech and saying they were bringing in real tech engineers, and I said, "What is real tech engineers?" And you know what I hate about online? This is what I hate about online, and I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to say this. No, I don't hate to say this because it's twofold. Some of y'all black women just be having attitudes for no daggone reason. Let me say this. I could ask, well, what are they looking for at Afrotech? And people look at me, they'll say something like, look it up. Search what they look. I'm like, well, just trying to figure out. So then I further asked the question and said, well, do they have a CFP out? What's a CFP? What does that stand for? I'm like, um, um, I'm trying to figure out. You brought it up. You don't know what a CFP is. You know they looking for people. Why you so angry? What you mad about, son? And it's the same for some black men. You can ask one question and they go off on a whole new track. That's why I say some of y'all need to take some of y'all are angry for no reason. Like, what you mad about? What you mad about? I'm gonna give you another example. I was listening to a live last night, And one of the people in the comments said, the whole thing that, welfare took the black man out of the community. And I asked, the question was, well, how many black women was on welfare? Why did I ask that? Why did I ask that? What do you own? Because the immediate assumption was is that I was a man, but I was really asking, the question was, well, how many black women were on welfare at that time? Was it 10%? Was it 20%? How many people were on welfare at that time for it to feel like an effect over the whole community? Like, I like to deal with data and facts. What were the stats? Like, let's look at it from a statistical standpoint here. Was it 10%? Was it 20%? Was it 30%? And you know how I feel about all of this. If we keep saying that black women chose welfare and over a black man, my question has always been, and it always will be, well, what did that black man do? What did he go build? What did he do if he wasn't in that home? Was he building a business? Was he building an apartment? What was he doing? Where we always get the stats about what black women were doing, but I never have ever seen the stats about what black men were doing and building during that time. So I asked the question because it's a very one-sided conversation. If black women were on welfare and men weren't allowed in the home, then what were they building over here? So these are the logical questions to me. To me, were they going to school? Were they owning businesses? Were they creating barbershops, shoe shine? Were they going off to the military? Were they coming back? What's the what was happening with them, right? So I think the whole conversation when it comes down to the welfare took the woman, the man out of the house, then I have to ask, well, what was the man doing if he wasn't in the house? I think that's a fair question, and no one can answer that. And I think we have to get back and face the reality of, okay, if he was over here doing whatever he was doing, what was that? And she was over here doing whatever she was doing, what was that? And we don't want to face those questions. We don't want to face the tough questions about building a true community, right? We don't want to face the tough situation about, like, yeah, we're at this juncture now where we need two incomes. Now, for a whole freaking 2 years, all I have heard was, if a woman goes to work, she becomes masculine. But here's what happened. Money kept printing and inflation went up. And that $50,000 that everybody keep talking about everybody can live off of has suddenly hit the wall. It hit the wall harder than everybody keep talking about. And now that wall is saying you need two incomes. And now everybody is like, oh no, we need for her to work. Well, for 2 years, 3 years, everybody been like, nah, make her masculine. So now she need to work. Like, these conversations are so circular to me. Like, I just be so confused because to me, in my head, everybody, like I said, everybody need to be working. Your roaches need to be working. Your mosquitoes need to be working. Your dog need an Instagram. Your cat need an Instagram. You need to have an Instagram for your ring. You need income coming in, because it doesn't make sense to me to keep struggling and to keep starving and to be living in tents and be washing up at the what's it called, the cemetery. None of this makes sense to me. It just don't make sense to me. And if we talking about we want to save the black community, we broke. We broke. We're broke. Let's just call it. Let's call a spade a spade. And like I said, I'm only focused on that bell curve. I'm only focused on the top 20%, maybe even 10. I may even narrow it down to the top 10, 15, 10%. I don't care nothing about nobody else over here on the other side. Like, don't come talking to me about, oh yeah, I just reached my goal of 42,000. I don't want to hear nothing about it. I'm over it. I'm not interested in it. I'm only dealing with people that want to go forward. I'm only dealing with people that want to thrive, that want to progress, that want to be at the top, right? And how you gonna get there? You're gonna need skills. I don't care if it's skills in tech. I don't care if it's skills in finance. I don't care if it's skills in cleaning homes. I don't care if it's skills in building homes. Whatever it is, be the best that you can be. Make sure you diversify and get into network groups and get with people and go from there. Other than that, why we sitting over here talking about it? Like that incident in Houston with that guy, that should have never happened. He should he got a child that's 9 years old. He should not be in a situation where he's living off his ex-girlfriend's rental history and lease in order to survive. That makes no sense to me. She should never have left him in the apartment so that he should, because she was doing that was out the kindness of her heart. If you really want to be honest, she's sacrificing her credit. If you really want to be honest, because now I have to ask the question is, well, if she in that lease, well, what did she move to? Did she buy a house? Or is she renting again? Or did she move somewhere else? Because they gotta run her credit and they're gonna see that on there. So I got questions about that. I mean that's not the here nor there, but there's some financial things decisions that we make just don't make sense. They just don't make sense. It was a whole nother situation, and I'm gonna pull that up too, where it was another foolish finance Friday. We're out here making decisions, we're out here doing whatever. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, is it really that bad out there where y'all gotta like damage each other credit? No, that's crazy. Yes, ma'am. You going back downstairs? Yes, food, but I'm on my shoulder. it never fails. We're just gonna bust in. What you doing? He busted her down so good she lost her mind. Tyrone strikes again. I don't think it had nothing to do with busting her down. I don't think it had nothing to do with that because she's an ex. I think it was more or less like, I know that you need help. You can't get out there on your own. I'm going to make a sacrifice for you and make sure that you and your child are okay. That's how I looked at that. That's exactly how I looked at that. Uh, that can be found utilizing unemployment. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could go look that up and come up with something. I just be wanting to know, with that, nobody never talks about that. Did I watch The Patriot Nurse? The old people are going to be squeezed from their homes to pay for their medicine and doctor visits. That's been, yeah, yeah, that's been going on for a while there, especially in Florida. Especially in Florida. I was just looking at one of the things Evelyn had posted about the guy that stole his parents' home from them. Like, it's just a lot of things going on. Like I said, y'all need to go home. Y'all need to go home. And let's be fair. Some Let's be fair. There are evil people out in the world. They're not mentally sound. They don't have they don't care about nobody else. In fact, they don't even care about themselves. They don't even care about themselves, right? So they much less don't care about you. Don't even want to even see you happy. So where we're at in society is real crazy. And some of y'all just need to go home. You need a hug. All right. All right. Let's start off. That was heavy for me. Let's go here. Um, you should be able to see this. All right, so let me hop over here on this screen. I'm working on one screen, so y'all got to bear with me today. All right. So the federal government is investing $22 million in developing washable smart clothing like socks, underwear, shirts, and pants, right? They're looking to create $22 million in surveillance clothing. The initiative will develop shirts, pants, socks, and underwear that can record audio and video. D, we can see you. D, you online. You coming in to say something, D? Oh, okay. All right, let me go back to it. All right. So, the if viable, the washable garments will be used by the U.S. intelligence employees. Oh man, she got something down here. Stick it to my sock. All right, 1 second. Whatever this is, stick it to my sock. If viable, the washable garments will be used by the U.S. intelligence employees on those in high stress environments. All right, let's go down here. Wearable technology is quickly evolving beyond the Fitbit, Apple watches, and Oura rings. I don't know what it is. Yeah, your socks will be spying on you. You'll be walking around talking to people, and this is already. If you see this, if you see they talking about 22 million, they already have proved that this works. They just need to scale it. They have already proved that this works. All right. So in the 22 million developing ready to wear clothing that can record audio, video, and geolocation data through something is calling the smart electrically powered and network textile systems program, or smart EPADS for short. The garments slated for production include garments slated for production. Like, this is already, you see these words that are being used. The garments slated for production include shirts, pants, socks, and underwear, all of which are intended to be washable. The Intercept reported the program represents the largest single investment to develop active, smart textiles that feel, move, and function like any garment, according to an August 22 press release from the Office of Director of National Intelligence. Smart EPANS is being developed under the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity, an agency that describes itself on a website as a high risk, high payoff research program. Like I keep telling y'all want to know what's going on, go look at what money is being poured into research. That's where you find out stuff, right? The most difficult challenges of agencies and disciplines in the intelligence community. In other words, funding moonshots like underwear that's as stretchable and washable as normal underwear, but can also record your every move. If successful, if successful, though, the garments could significantly improve the capabilities of those working government agencies like the Department of Defense, first responders of the Department of Homeland Security, those in the intelligence communities, or others working in high stress environments like crime scenes, and arms control. And Dr. Lawson Cargo, the manager, the program manager for Smart EPANS, explained in a press release. Right, drop your thoughts in here. What y'all think about this? Because now what that says to me is, even though you already have to keep your head on a swivel, you could be sitting somewhere and somebody could be recording you at all times. You can have a girlfriend that's recording you. You got a boyfriend that's recording you. They, most definitely they'll put something on a baby and have a baby sitting in there recording you. All right. All right. All right. So did y'all hear about the billionaires that got together and they were going out to, is I think it's pronounced Salondo Valley. I think that's how you say it. Out in out in California, and they were gonna build a new city. They had a new sheriff, a new city. I mean, a new sheriff, a new zip code, new schools, the whole nine. It's got a whole plan, a whole development, and everything. Right. A mayor told the investors who want to build a new city in her backyard to take their billions of dollars and go back to Silicon Valley. This came out September the 2nd. The mayor of Fairfield is on a mission to stop billionaires building a new city in her county. Catherine Moore said with Solano, that's what it is, Solano County officials Friday to make a plan for defense against the idea. Moore told Bloomberg she would do everything we can to stop it. She ain't interested. She ain't interested. All right, let's get into it. The mayor of Fairfield is not impressed with the Silicon Valley billionaires who want to build a new city. Y'all want to see this new city? All right, here we go. See, they bought here we go, a company that counts billionaires, and I talked about this before, but now, yeah, she can't stop that money. Mark Anderson and Lauren Powell Jobs, as investors say, is bought 50,000 acres of land to build a new walkable city in Northern California. And here's everything we know about the plans. Let me back out of them because it's super huge on my screen. I know it's huge on your screen. All right. The company that quietly bought 50,000 acres. All right. They got a master plan. California Forever says it wants to build a walkable city with new jobs surrounded by agriculture and green belt. All right. But here's the thing too, right? When you start talking about I'm building a city, again, we can go back to Tulsa, but that's what this is, right? That's what this is. Yep, there's gonna be Eureka for engineers, is for investors. You're gonna have to have a certain net worth even to even buy a plot. You can't, you gotta come, probably gonna have to come from some type of background. I can do whatever I want to in my city. I can do whatever I want to in my city. You can't tell me what I can't do in my city, right? All right. So here it is right here. 50 acres, 50,000 acres, right? What they want to look like, walkable. Again, we're seeing where, like I said, Gen Z as well, and younger millennials don't want to drive to work. They want to be able to get out, walk down the street, go to work, and come back home. If I want to go back home for lunch, I can go back home for lunch. I don't mind working hybrid if my hybrid is 10 minutes away from me in a walkable city. I'm cool with that. That works for me. But you're not gonna get me out driving 45 minutes an hour every day, right? You gotta remember, no one wants to do that anymore. And this call back to office, the people that want to go back in the office are gonna have the pick of the litter. When I say they're gonna have the pick of the litter, meaning you're gonna be able to pick the job you want and command the money that you want. Because a lot of people don't want to go back to office. And with that being said, when I say you have the pick of the litter, meaning you have the ability to say, if I gotta come in, this is how much gas it's gonna cost me to come in. So you put that into your yearly salary. This is how much it's gonna cost for me to park. This is how long it's gonna take me. So you add in all those factors, right? So originally, I always say you go for a minimum of 25,000. Ramit says 20. I say 25. I'm pushing it up now. I'm adding in interview time and the whole nine. 30,000 is my new number. 30,000. 30,000 is my new number at a minimum. If you're switching a job, 30,000 is my new number. Why? Because I gotta account for inflation. I gotta account for inflation, right? That's just at a minimum. if you jump in jobs, right? So let's get back over here to it. All right. So the idea of building a new community and economic opportunity in Eastern Solano seemed impossible on the surface, but after spending a lot of time learning about Solano and its people, Jan became convinced that with a thoughtful design, the right long-term patient investors, and strong partnerships with all stakeholders, there would be an opportunity to build a remarkable place for Solano residents, both current and many generations to come. Right? Kayaking. We want to do all our things. We can put in our solar panels. It's going to be very green. Again, water, what does that look like? How do we landscape our stuff? The whole nine, right? Those wildfires, how do we control? How do we get fire resistant material in our buildings? All of that. I'm sure they're gonna cover all of that stuff, right? So this is what again, people get mad at me all the time. They're like, all you do is talk about money. Well, this is what money can do. This is what money can do. They're gonna have their own sheriff. They're gonna have their own city. They're gonna have their own city. They're gonna have their own. They're gonna have their own mayor. They're gonna put forth what they want to see. What, how diverse do you think this community is going to be? How diverse you think this gonna be? So y'all can keep saying that money don't matter. Okay, all right, but she want to put a stop to it. Flannery Associates has been quietly buying up farmland worth $800 million in Solano County, where Fairfield is located. Here's the court documents of that. A website for the plan show its parent company, California Forever, wants to build a walkable community. Right? So they done bought farmland, they done bought acres, they ready to go. They already know what they want to plant out there. I guarantee you they know what they want to plant there. What can they grow? They got their own food, they're gonna have their own market, they're gonna have their own grocery store, they're gonna have their own everything. And I wouldn't be surprised they put in hotels and make and keep it limited, exclusive, an exclusive hotel, 5 star hotel. When people come into town and the whole nine. Watch. All right. Yep. Let me see if they got more stuff down here. No, they don't. All right. They say, or they can take over in an area annexed themselves from Solano. Yeah. All right. Dating. Huh. Bumble says it considers ghosting a date bullying and abusive conduct. And this is what Bumble is saying. Right? Bumble new guidelines now include standing up a date as a form of bullying and abusive conduct. Bumble told Insider it could take action against someone who ghosts a mutually agreed upon date. However, you're still allowed to stop communicating with someone without providing explanation. But if you set up a date and you ghost someone, they're going to take action. Now, the question is, what action are they going to take? Has anybody ever been ghosted for a date? Has anybody ghosted has anyone ever ghosted someone? That's a good question. Ladies, have y'all ever ghosted someone? Fellas, have you ever ghosted someone? They're gonna start taking action. Now, if Bumble sets precedents and start doing this, it's gonna be other apps. Other apps are gonna start picking up and start doing this, right? So let's get into it. It's a reason why I brought this up. If you ever made plans to meet up with a date only to find they've seemingly disappeared off the face of the earth, you now be able to seek retribution. At least if you find your date on Bumble. The online dating company recently updated its community guidelines to explicitly include ghosting someone on a date as an action that falls under bullying and abusive conduct. Our community is about creating kind connections. We aim to create an experience which is free from behavior that makes an individual or group feel embarrassed, bullied, or targeted. The company, this is on the company's policy page, reads: members may not show up to an in-person meetup despite clear plans agreed by both parties. These rules also apply to Bumble BFF, the company's platonic platform for meeting friends. It says while it's possible to block the report other users on the app, this new inclusion under the company's guideline may make it easier to ensure that there are actual consequences for standing up someone on a date, like being removed from the app. However, it also brings up questions that could happen in more thorny situations, such as if someone no longer feels comfortable messaging the person they previously agreed to date, or without fear, or how they could respond, or if they find something troubling on the person's social media page, so forth and so on. All right. Now, let's take this one step further. If you I this is what I think they should do. This would really get someone get someone on the app, right? This is what I think they should do. Give you my idea. This is what I think they should do. They should they should say, okay, if you think you're gonna ghost people, you gotta pay extra. Like, give a premium service for ghosting people. Like, oh, you're a ghoster, you should pay extra for because you're gonna ghost people. All right. And if and to circumvent that, if they know people are if they want to keep the way they've been doing it, like remove them from the app or something like that, I won't remove them from the app. I would just put like a signature or something like that, known to ghost or something like that, something so people could be aware. You can pick and choose, but it's a premium if you're a ghoster. I won't remove them from the app. I'll leave them on there. If you're gonna ghost, I'm gonna make some money on you. Somebody got to get paid. That's what I would do. I won't remove them. I'll leave you on there. All right. Where does Tamika want to go next? Yeah, ghost rating. Yeah. Hold on. I'm looking. I'm scrolling through. All right. So I found this week. This I found very interesting. Let's get into this. I was doing my research. This came out July 19th of 2022. Right. I'll blow it up a little bit more. Looks a little small. It said the District of Columbia had the lowest percentage of married black adults from 2015 to 2019, meaning y'all ain't getting married. And so I actually looked up. There's a couple of places. Let's go backwards here. There's two things. I looked up places where you're most likely to die. What states were those where you don't live the longest. And I also looked up what states to live in if you want to be married. I looked that up. All right. So it says US marriage rates have been on the decline since the later half of the 20th century. Both men and women are marrying at a later age, but the decline and the delay are even more dramatic among black adults. Black adults. Blow it up there. The median age of at first marriage has risen for both men and women. In 1970, age was 23 years for men and 20 for women. And 50 years later, those numbers have climbed to 30 years and 28 years, 28 years old respectively. Though there have been drastic changes in marriage patterns for all races and Hispanic origin groups. I don't know why they separated that two out like that, but whatever. Differences have been especially pronounced for non-Hispanic Black adults. Throughout this story, Black is used interchangeably with non-Hispanic. Yeah, I don't know why y'all keep doing that. Then I wish they would stop doing it. For all groups, the percentage of never married men in 1970 was 28% compared to 22% of women. By 2020, these figures have rose to 35% for men and 30% respectively. However, in 1970, 35.6 of black men and 27.7 of black women were never married. But in 2020, that has jumped to 51.4% for black men and 47.5% for black women. While this percentage of adults who were never married increased by 7.6% for men and 7.9% for women, the corresponding change for black adults was more than double that at 15.8% points for men and 19 for women, right? So let's see. Let's see right here. Which states had higher percentage of married black adults? Which states? All right. So they did an estimate. They took a survey from samples from 2005 to 2009 and then from 2015 to 2019. They give us a geographic portrait of marriage among blacks in the United States comparing time periods in 2 decades. Y'all ready for this? All right. All right. Compared to the national average of 32.8% in 2005 to 2009 and 31% in 2015 to 2019. States with significantly higher percentage of married non-Hispanic blacks were primarily concentrated in the West and the South for both periods. In contrast, of the states with a significantly lower percentage of married black adults, more than half of them were in the Midwest from 2005 to 2009, meaning people weren't getting married in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Missouri, Nebraska, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So here's the data for 2005 to 2009. And what they're showing you here is in these areas that are green, this is where it was significantly low. Like you're not getting married up in these regions. You're not getting married, but you are getting married or you were getting married in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and out here in the West. You're not getting married in California back in 2005 to 2009. I thought this was very interesting because if we go from 2005 to 2009 and then we go from 2015 to 2019, what do we see change? All right. All right. So here we go. States with among the highest and lowest percentage of married black adults from 2005 to 2009. Hawaii, Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, and Alaska. Those are the states where y'all getting married at. So that was in 2005 to 2009. All right. And then the states where the lowest was Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and the District of Columbia. And that's where most of us live at. We're in Illinois, Pennsylvania, Michigan. I know we got some blacks in Wisconsin, but in DC, these areas right here are highly concentrated with blacks. Y'all ain't marrying each other. So, you know, just my thoughts. It may not be the area you want to live in. All right. So now it says here from 2015 to 2019, the Midwestern states still had among the lowest shares of married black adults during this period. 6 of the states with a significantly lower percentage of married blacks were the Midwest: Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio, and Wisconsin. So again, here's the state's statistical difference as the compared to the national percentage. So Georgia and Florida, y'all getting married. North Carolina, Virginia, y'all getting married. But Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Tennessee, all the way up to New York, This region right here, y'all not getting married. So, and if men are asking women to marry, that means that the men are not asking women to marry them. So, ladies, if you're looking to get married, according to the stats, you need to stay in these states. Fellas, if you're looking to marry, this is where where your wives are at. She ain't in Alabama. She ain't in Oklahoma. She ain't in Nevada. West Virginia is one of the worst states to move to, health wise. One of the worst states to move to health wise. North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont. Mm-mm. Don't go to New York. She ain't there. Y'all ain't getting married. All right. So from 2005, from 2015 to 2019, Hawaii, Idaho, Utah, and Montana and Maine were the highest to get married. We in Montana? We out in Montana? We out there in Montana, Montana and up. We in Idaho, Boise, I'm assuming. So, ladies, y'all looking to get married. The states with the highest is not in the South. I'm just going by the stats. So they go every 5 years. So 2019, 2020, so 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 24, we should see some new stats. They go every 5 years. You ain't getting married in the DMV. It ain't happening. It's not happening in Wisconsin. It's not happening. And I'll drop this link so y'all can go read this. There's been an increase in these areas. Washington State, back again in Minnesota, Nebraska, and here we go right here. This is a breakdown from 2005 and 2019. They show you each state where you're getting married at and what the stats are. So your wife may not be in the city you think she in. I'm just pointing it out. I'm gonna drop this link. If 4 out of 10 black people get married, there you go. We in Montana with horses and ranches. Those are the chill states, slower pace, stop and smell the roses. Yeah. So again, that the states that y'all keep thinking that you moving to, it ain't Houston. Your wife ain't in Houston. Let me go. Let's look at Texas. Let's look. Right here, 35%. I'll move that up. 35, 34. It decreased. Yeah. Over time, it's decreasing. In Houston, it's decreasing. Let's see who going up. Let me see. Decrease. Colorado. Delaware about the same. Look at this. The District of Columbia went from 20% to 18%. Florida from 35 to 32. Look at that. Look at that change. Look at these changes. All right, we got an increase right here in Massachusetts. We got an increase right here in Montana. I'm gonna have to go out to Montana. Maybe my boo on a ranch. Maybe my boo is on a ranch. Maybe my boo out there on the ranch. I wish I had me a toothpick right now. I'd be walking, babe. Let's just go out and watch the stars. We gotta whisk this corn for this crop. Saddle up. I'm going to the mailbox. I'll be back. I think I'm gonna take the tractor out today. Going up to the mailbox. Me and my boo. Just me and my boo out there just on the ranch with our huskies. Y'all going out there and see what you can see. Okay, we're going, we'll be back. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Y'all gonna be like, Tamika, where you at? On a ranch in Montana. I'm married. Yeah, we in Montana. What? That's crazy. That's right, D. Cold bangers. I'm out in the ranch. What? You ain't gotta tell me. I'm going home. I'm a look. Elizabeth, I'm coming to get you, honey. Oh, I'm coming to get you, baby. Where you at? Where you at, dude? Where you at, dude? Where you at, dude? Where you at, dude? All right, let me stop back there. All right, let me see what's this one. Oh, I thought this was interesting too. It has nothing to do with relationships, but I just thought it was interesting. This right here, listen to this. A former Alabama chemistry professor faked data in her grant applications. She faked data in her grant applications. Another Theranos in the making. Another Theranos in the making. A former chemistry professor at the University of Alabama in Huntsville admitted to reusing data in grant applications to National Institute of Health, while claiming it came from different experiments. According to the U.S. Office of Research Integrity. Have anybody ever heard of the Office of Research Integrity? You should go look them up. They may have some jobs. I can't say her name. I'm gonna call her Perta Perta. Who joined the UAH faculty in 2017 following a postdoc at MIT, engaged in research misconduct by intentionally knowing or recklessly falsifying or fabricating data to 12 figure panels in 4 grant applications. Mm, mm, mm. She was getting to the money. She was stealing. Mm, mm, mm. And she was getting that government grant money. Exactly. D say her name is Suranji. It's what I said it was, D. It's what it said, what I said it was. No, that's not it. Okay, moving on. It's all about the finances here. Let me back out of this because I can't see. Now, I thought this was interesting too. Spotify to cut certain ads for white noise creators who are making $18,000 a month curating hours of thunderstorms and bird sounds on Spotify. That's why I told y'all need to go home and just sit outside with your recorder and record them sprinklers, record them birds, and put it out there on Spotify. $18,000 a month. Did y'all know that you can make that much money on white noise? Hmm. Did y'all know that the money was coming in like that for birds chirping and thunderstorms? I bet y'all gonna be outside now recording them storms. Let's get into it. Spotify is gonna cut the ads. Yep, for white noise. You doing something wrong in your life. You are. What's 18,000 times 12? It's 18,000 times 12. Spotify will cut White Noise podcast from its ambassador ads program, according to a Bloomberg. Well, we can multiply 20 times 12. It's almost 40, right? 400, right? White Noise creators are making 18,000 a month curating nature sounds for background listening. You about to go record an HVAC? 216 a year. Just make it now. Now let's put this into play. Let's rock with me, D. Y'all rock with me real quick. D, put me on the big screen. Let's put this into play. Imagine you go on some AI joint, let AI make you some pictures and stuff like that. Go grab you some content from uh uh from tornadoes, hurricanes, and all of that. Make that in the background, some ships sailing and stuff like that. Throw that up there. Faceless YouTube. I've been looking at this. Faceless YouTube. I've been looking at this for months. Faceless YouTube, right? Have it AI generated, chop it up, make chapters and stuff like that. Throw it on the channel. Keep it pushing. They make it 18,000 a month. Curating storms. 18,000. 18,000. Let's go back to it. Bloomberg memo showed Spotify thought White Noise podcast cost them 38 million annually. All right. Spotify is pulling the plug on some ads for White Noise. The music streaming juggernaut is cutting out White Noise podcaster from its lucrative ambassador ads, which pays podcasts to read ads on air starting in October. The streaming company is requiring other podcasters to have 1,000 unique Spotify listeners, up to 100 over 60 days to be eligible for advertising program. It's been a rough year for streamers as the company laid off 600 workers in January. All right. The White Noise podcasters feature loops of calming sound. They're looping. It's not new fresh. It's just a loop. They're probably just playing all day. White podcasts feature loops of calming sounds ranging from thunderstorms and bird calls to pure static noise. Listeners use the episodes as peaceful background music for sleep, meditation, or study. Providing an old niche which has proven lucrative, one creator who quit his previous job to make White Noise shows full time broke down for Bloomberg. Ashley Carmen last year, he was paid $12.25 per 1,000 listens. Based on his podcast popularity, that added up to 18,375,000 a month. For Spotify, though, not all streams are created equal. By the company estimates, Spotify could save 38 million annually, steering listeners away from White Noise and toward more lucrative programming for the company, so forth and so on. Now, if I'm these white cast podcasters, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go out here and create my own. I'm gonna go somewhere else and put it up and put my podcast somewhere else, right? If you're gonna take away my ads, which takes away my revenue, right? But I wanted to share that with y'all because I'm like 18,000 a month. Could you use 18,000 a month? Let me know. Drop in the comment if 18,000 a month is like, like I don't care nothing about that. Or you could use it. Right? Or you could use it. Um Casual economist says I gotta sleep with White Noise, but I just use my air filter. You should probably record your air filter. You should probably record your air filter. Probably do like a good 5 minutes and just loop it and start you a white noise podcast with your air filter. Let me let me look up something real quick. Let me look up something. Let me look it up real good. Look. Yep. That's what I figured. That I'm looking up how much you get paid for the ASMR videos, and it looks like they're right around about the same thing. Without ads, YouTubers are making $3,000. With the ads, they're making about 20. That's what I figured. Yeah, this ASMR YouTuber made $130,000. Yeah, yeah. I figured it was about that, between 130 to the 200,000 they was making on those ASMR videos, right? All right, so let me close that. Let's go over here. All right, we're going into our Foolish Finance Friday, and we're gonna wrap it up. Our foolishness, my stuff that I call that's foolish. I'm monitoring this right here. Joe Jonas is filing for divorce. Joe is filing. The guy is filing for divorce after 4 years of marriage to Game of Thrones. Sophie Turner citing irrevocably broken marriage. Like, it's broken, it's over. He leaving her. He's like, I'm just about over being your girlfriend. He leaving. He's out. Right. So he filed for divorce. Right. He filed for divorce. They've had serious problems for months. Jonas has taken their two daughters on tour and so forth. So he's filing for divorce. I'm going to be monitoring this one here. I'm probably going to do my snooping and investigation, because that's a lot of money involved between the two of them. And so I want to know. And he filed in Florida. And Florida just passed the law where you can get alimony. Speaking of alimony, did you know there's four types of alimony? Did you know there's four types of alimony? There's four types of alimony. I know. These are things I'd bring to you all. Here we go, right here. Four different types of alimony. All right. The law that got passed in Florida is for permanent alimony. But you can have rehabilitative, you can have reimbursement, and you can have a lump sum alimony. That is what happened with what's her name? Faith Evans. She didn't have a prenup, and so she had to pay him a lump sum alimony, and she had to give him $1 million. Listen, this is about to sound real raunchy. It is. I'm telling you what I'm about to say. I gotta give you $1 million just for some penis that I ain't got no more. That was cheating on me anyway. No. See, y'all need to get with your prenups. Ain't no way. I'm gonna give you $1 million for you to go trick it off on some other chick, because I ain't had a faith, faith, faith. Listen, she should have made a mold. D back here scratching her head like, Lord, where she gonna go with this? D back there like this. Oh Lord. Oh, this a late night. This is late night with Petty T. Late night with Petty T. So four different types of alimony, right? Four different types. And you need to understand what those four different types are, right? Four different types. Bridge the gap, rehabilitative, durational, and permanent. And each one is different. Each one is different. And you need to find out what it is for your state. All right. Let me see. Do I want to do this one? Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I'll save this one. The misconceptions around prenups. Oh, I'll save this. I'll save this. I won't do it to y'all. All right, let's do one market watch, petty T moment, and we out. All right. I'm conflicted. My fiance earns less than me and racks up credit card debt. Is it a bad idea to get married? Put in the chat one to get married or two not to get married before I finish reading this. One to get married or two not to get married. I'm conflicted. My fiance earns less than me and racks up credit card debt and credit card debt. Is it a bad idea to get married? One, yes. Two, no. All right, we got twos coming in. Twos are saying no. They don't look at Ramit. They don't look at Ramit. All right. Well, Kevin said get married. Kevin down to earth say get married. Y'all say get married. All right, let's go. I'm making $150,000 a year. I have no debt. He makes 90,000 a year, and he's racking up credit card debt. So I'm gonna ask this again: should she get married to him? She makes 150, he makes 90, and he racking up credit card debt. One was to get married. No estate, no date. No estate, no date. Okay, so everybody got twos. Everybody's on the two. All right. Everybody's on two. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so she's making 150 a year and has no debt, and he's making 90,000 a year. All right. I've helped him pay off some of his debt, but his debts don't seem to go away. Ooh, shit, ATM. I wish I had the little gun to shoot out the money. D, you got to get me one of them so I can. So I can. You need to get me one of them so I can just be like. All right, so let's go. All right, I'm getting married later this year. I make about 150 a year, and I have no debt. He makes 90 a year. So I obviously have more disposable income. I want to travel and buy nice things for the house. We live in his house and mine is rented out. He wants to travel too, but often he doesn't have enough savings for that. Mm. I have no children. I don't want kids. My fiance has a 16-year-old boy and pays child support. He has $15,000 in debt, and in my opinion, he doesn't manage his money very well. He buys little things all the time, like clothing, and goes to concerts. He doesn't mind adding to his credit card bill as he doesn't want to miss out on anything. And all those things add up. He's never asked me to pay for anything, but if I offer, he accepts. Stop offering. Given that I have money, maybe I should pay for some of his expenses. Question. I'm conflicted. Do I pay for some of his expenses so he doesn't keep getting into debt? Do I just let him use his credit card since he doesn't seem to be bothered by it? He's never asked me to pay for anything, but if I offer, he accepts. We have separate bank accounts. What do y'all think they should do? Should they get married? Should they go to financial counseling first? Should he pay off his credit card before they get married? Should she come up with a prenup? Because it sounds like I don't hear no prenup. Because she got a house and he got a house. But I don't hear no prenup. They need remit. They do. I have helped him pay off some of his debt, but his debts don't seem to go away. I want to be a good partner since I have money, but it also needs to become a better money manager or things would never change. I thought about paying him more in rent so he could have more money. Dumb decision. But I decided he would just spend it on more stuff instead of paying his debt. Maybe it's okay for two people in a couple to be in different financial situations. How do I help? Is this a bad idea to marry? Has anyone else been in this situation? All right. Dear worried. Imagine that you both want to get fit for your wedding, but instead of going to a gym, you're doing a financial exercise routine. Even if you believe that he is the one who needs to wake up call, this is something you should do together. No shame, no blame, just hard cold facts. It could be also eye opening for you to see where you spend your money. If your income far exceeds your expenditures, your budget could provide him a useful contrast effect. If he sees where you're succeeding, it may help him reorganize his priorities. The answer to your two questions are no and no. First, no, don't pay off his credit card debt. Thank you. That makes you an enabler rather than someone who can help himself. If money is magically paid off, Paylov's dog would tell you he will go back to the credit card fountain again and again. It's not your job to allow him to either use his credit card or not. Exactly. No, it's not your job to allow him to use his credit card or not. He needs to learn to manage his own impulses and figure out why he likes to buy stuff. And this is what I was talking about before. And this is something I had learned a guy had said this and fellas, y'all can let me know if this is wrong or not. When a man sees a woman who has in a relationship who has more money and she's able to do more things for him, keyword for him, he begins to starts to look at her as a mother and not as a partner or a spouse or someone he wants to have sex with. So he ends up cheating on her and leaving her because he doesn't see her as a significant other or someone romantically and he wants to be involved in, right? And like I said, fellas, y'all let me know if I'm wrong or right on that, right? It also says in here he needs to learn to manage his own impulses and figure out why he likes to buy stuff. He needs a life partner, not a mother. See? He needs a life partner, not a mother. You will be taking on the role of the latter if you start giving him spending rules. One solution, hire a financial planner to go through your living arrangements and budget and make a 5-year plan. Do you have joint accounts? Do you share the rent you receive on your own home? Do you live in his house rent free? No, she pays him rent. How often do you eat out? Do you save for vacation? And she paying him rent, living in his house and paying bills. They shouldn't get married. A financial therapist, meanwhile, can fulfill a slightly different role by looking at the emotions and the psychology behind your spending. One person might grow up poor and save every penny, but perhaps not enjoy life enough, while another might be a bed shopper as a way to alleviate insecurities or fears. Take some practical steps. The clearest way to avoid putting more credit card every month, more on a credit card every month than you can pay off is to write down your income in one column and expenditures in another one. A cashless society is good for retailers and bad for consumers. The average American spends $92 a month or $1,100 a year on coffee, according to the study by the investment app Acorns. If you invested in $92 every month by the time you're at the age of 25, you've had $92 starting at the age of 25, you've had $286,000 in retirement. Good saving habits employs the two compounding and consistency. The former refers to the interest you make on interest in addition to $92 deposited monthly. Like I said, You got to start with your own your investments and start small. If you could put $25, I actually have something set up on mine. Apple is on sale. So you all should be buying some Apple stock because they on sale because they have been having a drop. So you should be. I got mine. I got a little account set up, and I buy $10 of Apple every week. It's just $10. I'm like $10. It let me. I said, what's that going out? Oh, that's my Apple. I'm okay with that. Right. Using digital tools to actually save you money rather than drain your account. In the meantime, distinguish between needs and wants. Maximize your 401k matches if you have to work based on retirement plan. Make sure you, and I've heard nothing about a retirement plan or nothing like that. She's just more concerned about his spending than anything. I don't even know if he's saving, right? Keep on top of your automatic payments and automate your savings. The problem with seeking advice from friends is that they will all bring their own baggage to the table. A girlfriend who was married to a louse might be more inclined to say run. Another person who was happy, healthy marriage or to say talk to each other. The takeaway: having a mature, responsible conversation about money management today will help you more have will help you have more of these conversations over the course of your life together. It will provide a blueprint not only for your finances, but your ability to sustain strong and healthy marriage, right? So that was it for our Foolish Finance Friday. I wanted to make sure that you all got that in there. I see true that the mother that you start to look at the woman as a mother or an enabler or whatnot. My recommendation for that couple is not to get married. Because I don't it doesn't sound like he's ready. Not right now, anyway. It sounds like he needs to have a long financial talk with himself. And what is his outlook on increasing his income? Because if she's already at 150, she will be at 180 in no time. She will she's almost double his income. And it doesn't seem like he cares either, to be honest. If he keep on spending something, it may be the money that she makes that makes him feel the way he feels. Who knows? But that's my thoughts. So any other questions? Everybody good today? I'm glad y'all stayed through the night. 1 a.m. We appreciate you out here rocking with us. uh, we will see y'all next week. Won't be a show tomorrow. We'll see y'all next week. Again, Triple F Friday. Don't let no don't leave a person in your house, in your apartment that's in your name, and you move out and you leave them there. Don't do it. You the fool. All right.